I'll show you every component that's been upgraded. Jake is not here today, but we're going to use his bench. I don't know if he's faking sick or whether he's really sick, but it worked out great because I want to show you our new 7.3 turbos and everything that's gone into developing a ground-up, groundbreaking turbo. Where some companies maybe slap a billet wheel and a stock cover and call it revolutionary. We've been over that. Billet wheels are great. They're not the whole turbo. It's one small part of a big system. So, how do you make a ground-up revolutionary turbo? How does R&D work? How long does it take? So this is actually a few years old now. We cleaned it with brake cleaner, it's turned yellow, but this is a 3D printed turbo. This actually got installed on a few trucks. We checked for fitment and made sure everything that was right before we got to the final product. So we had to make a few changes along the way, and after, I think this was like 18 months, maybe 2 years of development, CAD drawing, back and forth on fitments, what we expected out of it, R&D on what flows better, and then from a 3D printed mold, you eventually end up with finished product. So from 3D mold, the finished product can sometimes take years. We're not just slapping billet wheels and stock turbos. We are developing ground-up, groundbreaking turbochargers so you can have the best of the best. Well, what's groundbreaking about it? What's different about it? Why don't we just slap billet wheels and stock turbos and act like they're revolutionary? Well, let's do a little movie magic. I'll take this all apart. Let's compare these part by part to see what all has been upgraded. All right, now we got the turbo taken apart. Let's compare the two, see what's been upgraded. We'll talk a little bit about how we've upgraded things in the past and what approach we took to this ground-up turbo. So we'll start with the compressor wheel. That's what a lot of people focus on, simply the compressor wheel. The compressor wheel is very important, and we've tested them all. 7x7, 10 blade, 9 blades, 6x6, 5x5, taller blades, shorter blades, lighter wheels, thin hubs, thick hubs. There's always a benefit trade-off. You gotta find a little bit more about what you want, but you can't simply expect all the magic to come from the compressor wheel. The rest of the turbo is still, 30-year-old design. That's when the original 7.3 turbos, the turbine wheel, the compressor wheel design, a lot of those things came out in the 90s. I mean, we were going on 30 years old technology. Well, that's great. Most people upgrade the stock compressor wheel to a new modern style compressor wheel with a lot of stuff we've learned, but we've taken it way further. Previously, we were the first people ever to offer an upgraded turbine wheel, and that was a huge game changer. It really got close to closing the gap on the T4 kits or the S300 turbos that everyone's swapping on. We were right on the coattails of being almost as good as they are, but we didn't want to stop there. So the KC300x, a lot of it was based on the S300 style turbine wheel and our upgraded compressor wheel designs. We did a few tweaks to the compressor covers. On the E99, the OBS, we were the first people to offer an anti-surging. I believe we're still the first people to offer a larger inlet. Obviously, the Super Duty had a larger inlet. Lots of people have done that. But we took it way further. So we took the cover and did a ground-up redesign. And it's going to be really hard to tell just by looking at it. But this is a 1.0 AR cover, and you never see those on turbo covers anymore. Most of the time, you look at like an S300 or GTX 35 or any of the new G35 turbos, they got more like a 0.70, 0.72 AR cover. So we actually changed the volute and changed it to a 0.70 AR cover. We found that it spools faster and makes more power. It's got a lot of technology put into the inlet. It's got a lot of technology put into the map groove, into the anti-surging. So you're getting the modern technology that most modern turbochargers come on. They just didn't have this when the 7.3 came out that long ago. Look at the turbine housing. So we have previously offered different sizes. We had an 8.4 and a 1.0. And oftentimes what we found out, 8.4, a little bit too small. The 1.0, oftentimes way too big. 1.15, hated that housing. Super doggy. Most people didn't like it. So what we did is we made a 0.90. Split the difference between the two, aired a little bit on the smaller side, and we changed the volute style of the turbo. If you don't know what the volute is, it's where the air flows through the turbo, and there's been a lot of technology changes since then. Come in, zoom in close, look right here. If you look at the top of the turbo, you can see how rounded this is and how flat this is. That's because the volute on the inside has changed. It wasn't just an AR change, we increased the flow path. Actually, I cut apart some turbine housings so you could look for yourself. This is the stock turbine housing, and this is our upgraded turbine housing with a more modern volute. You can see the flow path is more direct to the turbine wheel and sprays down against the inducer of the turbine wheel instead of kind of like facing at each other, and it created a lot more turbulence right here. This turbine housing in itself spools faster and makes more power than either of the previous options that were available. Let's go over to the bearings. One of the things the 7.3 always struggled with was a teeny tiny thrust bearing. I mean, anyone that builds turbos looks at this and like, for people to be pushing 500 or 600 horsepower on this teeny thrust bearing for a 66 millimeter turbo, way too small. Now, in the past, we put a lot of time and effort into sourcing the best bearings and putting the most technology possible. In fact, I've seen people try to buy just our thrust bearings for their turbos and rebuild kits, but it was still small. That's all you could fit in there. You were limited by the bearing housing and the backing plate design. Well, we made huge improvements in the thrust bearing. Not only is it bigger, it's a better design. It's not slightly bigger, it's almost 200% larger. That's a thrust bearing that could support up to a 72 millimeter wheel, so you know it's got all the support you need for your turbo. Not just the thrust bearing, we also upgraded the journal bearings. Come in real close on those and see how much larger those bearings are. They're taller, they're wider. With a larger journal bearing, we also had to change everything else to support that. Brand new, ground up bearing housing. We also have a thicker shaft to support the larger bearings. We basically incorporated everything into our own custom designed bearing housing, which, as you can see, no longer has a backing plate. So the backing plate, like a lot of modern turbochargers, is integrated into the bearing housing. Makes it a little bit stronger and a little bit easier to rebuild. You don't have to worry about wiping out the whole backing plate just because of that seal. You can easily replace it. All right, we're getting to the end. We did reuse one part, and that is the outlet flange. It is the same outlet flange that's been around for a long time. There was no reason to improve it. It's fine just the way it is. And in fact, we get asked all the time, why don't you build from factory cores? Well, the reason being is this would be the only thing we could use. And ironically, Garrett gets them made in China. So yeah, if you buy a turbo from us, it's probably gonna have a few Chinese parts in it. That's where a lot of turbocharger parts are made. But if you're gonna make a revolutionary turbo like this, that's gonna change the game, you can't just slap Malaysian billet wheels and a worn out, junky turbo and call it revolutionary. A lot of these turbos are going on 10, 20, 30 years old, already rebuilt multiple times. They're out of spec. They need parts replaced. If you get them new from Garrett, probably coming from China, maybe assembled in Mexico. But if you get it from us, you get a ground up, modern technology turbo that's gonna blow everything else out of the water. Another area that we improved, it may be a small improvement, but it's been a big headache, the intake boot. These silicone boots have always been kind of a bear to put on. Whether they come from Garrett or aftermarket, they always kind of fit weird. It seems like the silicone doesn't ever dry right, and this is a really complicated angle to get right in silicone. So we went to the drawing board, made our own boot. We made an upgraded intake boot, more similar to the OEM design with the ribs to make it stronger so it doesn't suck close. And the way that this is molded, it'll fit perfect every time. How did we know this technology worked? How did we know how it improves? We test everything in-house. We literally have all the trucks here. We strive to be the best so you can have the best.